It is possible to do, and I want to put that to Yusif Sulemana, who is a ranking member on the Trades Committee in Parliament on the minority side. Your side shut this down last year. This attempt by the Trade Ministry to restrict the imports. You just heard the AGI president talk about it. It is possible. And really, if you are to tackle the problem we've just been discussing, as has been demonstrated by the Trade Vulnerability Report, that's where to start, is it not?
Evans, good evening, and good evening to our viewers as well as my co-panelists. Indeed, we shut it down. We shut the legislative instrument down because we thought that it wasn't in a good taste. It wasn't in a good position to help us. For instance, if you have a minister who have to solely determine who is given the right to import and who is not given the right to import, we thought that that was problematic. And there were other things that we thought we could have sat with him to iron out before that legislative instrument is even laid. And he didn't reason with us. So he brought it only to realize that he didn't do the right thing. In principle, nobody is saying that it's no good, but we thought that we could have done something better than what he had presented. Now, Evans, let me also talk about the issue of trade surplus and its relationship with a very weak currency that we have. I agree with Prof that because of the dominance of some foreign companies that are dealing or that are handling the major products that gives us this surplus, they repatriate the revenue that they get, and so they leave us with nothing. For instance, if you take the gold industry, how many local companies are in the gold industry? And so whatever that is exported by these foreign companies. And so they find a way of taking back the revenue in its foreign states. And so you leave us with less. Talk about oil. I mean, all the companies in the oil sector, when they also export and bring in the revenue, yes, we just see it. Ghana is used as a conduit, bring in the revenue, and then it goes back. And so on the face of it, you say that, yes, we are getting in more foreign currency, but it doesn't stay here with us. And there are other factors. And I think that those are things that we should look at and look at them very, very well. For instance, we all agree, and Prof is there, that there's a relationship between inflation and exchange rate. So if you have a country with a very high inflation, even when you bring in goods, because there's a high rate of inflation, it affects the purchasing power of the citizenry, of the customers. And once that happens, it reduces demand. And so even when people are willing to buy in more goods, because there's a low demand as a result of inflation, they will have to restrict imports. And so you see import coming down, but of course, export would have been going up. So this could also account for the reason why in 2023, we had more export but less import. Again, look, let's also look at policies of Bank of Ghana. A situation where Bank of Ghana, in my own opinion, is depressing demand for dollar. And take, for instance, in 2023 alone, over $500 million were auctioned to bulk distributors, the oil companies, at the expense of other businesses that were looking for the dollar to also import. And so if you are giving it to only the oil sector at the expense of other businesses, clearly they will not be able to bring in more goods. And so that can also affect our import bill. And so these are some of the things that we should be looking at. And I think that even as you look at